Mark in the count. The swing arm now coming back as our countdown continues.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. And I think it's supposed to switch over. There it is. Everything's slightly delayed today. And yet I actually started on time, and I got to credit Rick over here for saying, hey, we're right on time. And I was like, oh, man, well, I better actually do it now then. Hey, so I am here today on the Brick Something News with Rickdom from the ACBA podcast, but actually more importantly, the recently crowned 2025 ToyMigos Cornhole Champion. I don't have any cool music.
The champ is here. The champ is here.
I love that there is a legit trophy, and also you're kind of on a trophy tour, like you're saying, because
trophy tour.
I asked you to do this, and you're like, man, yeah, I'm kind of everywhere this week talking about
let's do it.
High on your winning. Can you tell folks a little bit who might be a little unfamiliar with what this trophy is?
Oh man, absolutely. Actually, and there's also funny.
Before you do that. Sorry, I just realized I probably gave you I'm probably giving you too much to do. Let me give you some quick context for folks who I'm sure everybody here knows the ToyMigos, but the ToyMigos are awesome. They've been doing the podcast. Cheney was on here. Chama's been on here. Lago's been on here. J-Shot's been on. Folks have been on here from ToyMigos. They do a Tuesday and a Thursday stream. They're Not Dolls on Thursdays and Chat Migos Assembled. But they do this thing annually on Labor Day weekend where they do a huge ToyMigos meetup down at the Frankenstein area, right? Yeah. And so Rickdom is not too far from me up here in the Bay Area, and I know there's a lot of folks who don't necessarily pay attention to California geography, but it's a good 6-hour drive from here.
It's a drive, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of grew up in that area. I don't know if I think I mentioned that to you, but I grew up in the Downey area. Not too far from Frankenstein's, really, and everything in LA, not too far. But okay, so they do this thing annually, and you went down. Can you tell us a little bit about what kind of happened in the weekend in general, and then what's with this cornhole championship? Yeah,
so it all starts up at a Frankenstein's. Yeah, so we all just meet up at Frankenstein's and take a big group picture and go out to dinner, and it was awesome. We all just kind of split up, not intentionally, but we split up into little groups where 5 of us are going to this booth, 6 of us are going to this booth, and et cetera. Because if we all went, if 40 of us went to one booth at a time, it would be a nightmare. So you kind of almost purposely have to find a little group and okay, I'm with these guys, and we go here. We walked every single aisle of Frankenstein's and looked for whatever it is we needed to. Oddly enough, it's not to disrespect Frankenstein's, but I think we found better stuff outside of Frankenstein's because I'm sure you're a school teacher. You're hip with the kids. Frankenstein's has completely turned into a Labubu warehouse.
Sure.
There's almost, I'm sure you remember, it's practically everything was a toy booth. It's 1/3 is toys, 1/3 is Pokemon cards, and 1/3 is Labubus.
Right.
So there's really not there's still a lot of toy stands, but there's really not as much as there used to be. So I left there empty-handed. I didn't find a single thing I wanted at Frankenstein's. We went to shops owned by people that have stalls at Frankenstein's instead.
Yeah.
We went
to. I was wondering. Yeah, where'd you go? yeah, let's start there. And what shops? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? We'll come back to the shops because I've kind of got visuals and stuff, and I'll bring them up. But you guys you spent the day. It's like 65,000 square feet. It's like an old Sam's Club or something. It's a huge old store that they've divided up into stalls, and we can take a quick look at that later. But you leave empty-handed. You guys go to dinner. You do all of that. But then that's only like day one, right? Of the meetup.
That's just day one.
Then day two is where the cornhole happens, right?
Yeah, that's Cornhole Central, baby. Sunday.
That's where you
we met up at yeah, that's where I really got to stretch my legs out and show them who was boss. Yeah. That was a really funny day, and the only person that saw that coming was Chamba. Chamba was the only one from the start that was like, "You're winning this whole thing." I was like, no, I'm not. No. I told you before the stream started that. So I've never played cornhole.
Yeah.
I'm Mexican, and I was never put around cornhole.
But you're the people of the sun, though, dude. Come on now, don't discount your heritage. That's probably actually
I doubted myself.
Okay, that's probably where the power came from. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So it was funny because when we first got there, everybody was late because we started the day really early because they wanted to get a good spot at the park, which makes a lot of sense. You know, it's Labor Day weekend. Like going early to get a good spot for so many of us makes complete sense. So he was like, "Yeah, let's go early. Let's start at 11." Well, not early, but so early that June didn't want to come. Shout out to June from Jaded Toys. He was like, "You think I'm getting up at 11 a.m. to go to a park? You're out of your mind."
Whoa. 11's not
He
bad.
was not going. No, it's not bad.
Okay.
Yeah, we were. You know what? We were out at.
So I'm used to early mornings.
Yeah. We were out at round one, the arcade, like the adult arcade or whatever, at like midnight the night before, and it was funny because.
Adult arcade doesn't work.
Oh, that sounds really bad.
Yeah.
The crane game spot, bowling and whatnot. Shout out to Vince Figs and Bradley Harper, who like after we left round one at midnight was like, "Where are we going next? Like, what are we gonna do? Where are we going?" And all the adults, because we're all much older than them, were like, "Are you out of your mind? We're going to bed. We're going to sleep. We're going home." And they're like, "What are you talking about? Let's go to a bar or something." And all of us were like, "No." And I forget who it was. Maybe it was June. Or maybe it was Cheney. One of them was like, "You can tell that they're young because they still want to hang out. Let's all go home." Yeah. And we were all tired. And when we were leaving, I remember I said bye to June, and I was like, "Hey, man, so we're going to see you Sunday, cornhole." Like, and he's like, "Well, what time is it?" And I was like, 11. He's like, "You think I'm going to wake up at 11 a.m. on a Sunday?" No. He's like, "I'll see you guys next year." And did not go. It was hilarious. It was funny. But yeah, we got there before noon.
Where is this park, by the way? Do you remember? Just for my nerdy geography. And what's up, chat? I'm gonna say hello to you all in a little bit.
Yeah, I texted a friend like, "Hey, meet me at this park," because my best friend lives down in LA, so I wanted him to come hang out with us, even though he knows nothing about the ToyMigos. He doesn't
hanging out. It's like
he just wanted to come hang out.
It was like,
and he participated in cornhole too.
It's like the barbecue in the park. Do you guys bring more food and just kind of hang out at the park, or was it just strictly cornhole business?
It was strictly cornhole business, man. It's right when they got there. The park was called William Steinmetz Park. William Steinmetz Park in Hacienda Heights.
Hacienda Heights. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And by the way, if you go there and you go to the bathroom, be prepared to make a wish. That was the one, right? That was the bathroom where the famous bathroom genie. Okay, sorry. I'll save that for another. You should watch. Who could you watch? You could watch Jay Shot and Machi on Between Two Sentinels for the story of the bathroom genie and ToyMigos, of course. But anyways, okay. So you're in Hacienda Heights. You all show up. How many people are competing in this thing?
You know what's funny is at first I don't even know what's going to happen because so many people didn't show up because it was like quote unquote like too early. So when we showed up, it was just me, my wife, Brad Harper, Vince Figs, local Bay Area collector too, Yoko, Ernie, and Cheney. And that was it. I was like, "Where's Chamba? Where's the Sentinels?" And they're like, "Oh, they're coming later." I was like, oh, okay, like, cool. I'm gonna go sit with my wife like later. And they're like, no, like our numbers aren't even. Like, come play cornhole. And I was like, no, listen, I've never played cornhole. Number one, number two, like I can't see well out of one eye. I was like, so my depth perception is really bad. I was like, I'm basically never gonna make a cornhole. It's not gonna happen.
That's
I
your
won't play.
superpower, man.
And then they were like, no, you have to play it. I was like, no, like I really don't want to. And they lured me with, well, here's what we'll do. You just play right now. Who cares if you do well? And when somebody comes, they'll swap you. He's like, so just play, like it doesn't matter. And I was like, oh, I guess, like we'll do that. And I never got to leave again. They lied to me. They bamboozled me. I was stuck.
But I mean, to be champion, you had to do well. So were you just like on fire on this thing, or?
No. So here's what happened. So I had Ernie as my partner, and it's funny because everybody calls Ernie like adult me, or people call me little Ernie because we look so similar. I'm not wearing my glasses, but when I wear them, it's very very similar and whatnot. So yeah, I'm playing, Mexican. And Ernie's really good. Yeah, we're both Mexican, very similar, portly fellows,
Okay.
So it's funny because Ernie's really good. Ernie's really good at cornhole. He's by him, Cheney, and Vince, by far the best people. Like it's not even close. They're way better than everybody else. So Ernie was carrying me. I would make one here and there. I would just basically, I'd throw a cornhole and I'd go, hey man, can I just not play? Like, can you stop somebody else? 'Cause I was doing terrible. I was like, and they were like, nah, man, you're gonna be fine. And once Chamba got there, he's like, dude, you're going to win this whole thing. And I was like, there's no way I'm winning this whole thing. He's like, just because you don't want to play, he's like, the world works in funny ways. You're going to win. And I was like, there's no way. I'm not going to win. And so, yeah, we just keep playing and playing and playing. And I didn't even know that we were at the final round. I get up to play, and then Cheney goes like, this is a final round. I was like, oh, what? I was like, we made it? And I'm looking at Ernie, and I was like, okay, like, hell yeah, let's do it. And it's funny because in the beginning, Ernie does really well for us, and he lulls us into a false sense of security. We're playing Bradley and Vince Figs, and they're doing awful. They are stinking up the place. It's just not falling for them. And it's funny because they were doing so well previously, so it was strange that it was just, they were screwing the pooch. It wasn't going well. And eventually, it's like a fire was lit under their ass, and they start to smoke us. And they get 1 point away from winning, and we're down, I want to say like 6 or 7. We're pretty far down. I was like, man, we're not going to make it. They got 1 point. We're like 7 down. Like we're just going to lose, whatever it may be. And I proceed to nail like almost 3 in a row, and I win. And I win it for us. Yeah, I don't know how.
When you say nail, like literally in the hole.
Yeah,
so not just points.
Literally in the hole. Yeah,
nice. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I made one. I was like, oh shit, hell yeah!
Is that mice power?
Yeah.
All right.
And it netted me this.
Yeah, look at that beautiful black and gold, man. Congratulations.
And this helmet.
That was the prize. So how does that work between you and Ernie? I don't know if you can hear me. How does that work between you and Ernie? Are you guys divvying up the trophy, or was there a trophy and a mask for everybody? Oh, you lost the audio, huh?
I'm back now.
Okay. No, how does that work with the halls, like the prize, the trophy? Was there, you and Ernie have joint custody, or do you each have a prize?
No, Ernie just gave it all to me. Gave it all to me. Yeah, I won, and I was like, cool, I got the trophy. And they're like, no, you got the helmet too. And I was like, oh wow, nice. And then Vince got the shirt, the Between Two Sentinels shirt, and Brad got the Biker Mice from Mars figure, which Biker Mice from Mars figures are fantastic. They're really great figures. That's cool. Yeah, those are great.
Right on. That's cool because sometimes when Ernie tells stories, he's known for spinning a tale, but clearly he does have skills. According to you,
he's good. He's good.
He
I thought he wasn't either.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing because sometimes he just does it just to be funny or whatever. Like everybody knows I'm the best at X thing or whatever it may be. So when I'd hear about like the cornhole thing with him and Yoko the year before, I was like, this is obviously silly, and like he doesn't take it seriously, and it's just something funny for all the friends to like laugh at. And we were playing.
Right.
He was really good. And I was like, oh crap! Like this guy's really good. Like lucked out in that way.
And he shared his his prize. I respect that. Look at that guy.
Yeah, and it's all
Just like
signed by
Usopp.
all the ToyMigos.
Oh, that's
there's
awesome.
Cheney, Fallen Fett, Chamba, Yoko, Machu, and of course the illustrious J-Shot.
Nice. That's awesome, man. That sounds super fun. I was actually trying to get down there this year. I actually ended up, folks know here, I've had COVID. I got COVID the Thursday night. I started feeling the symptoms Thursday before Labor Day. So I was like, it's like, damn, how am I going to get sick on a long weekend where like, I'd rather like not have to work on the long weekend. And if I'm going to get sick, give me a regular weekend where maybe I can miss a little work. But anyway, I'm back to work. I went back last Thursday and I missed out on the meetup again. I'd love to go down there sometime just to hang out.
Yeah,
it's not super
awesome.
easy. But maybe we can carpool or something.
it was real fun. It was real fun. And what made it like really worth going was that like my mom has a house down in LA that's completely vacant. I mean, it's furnished, but it's like vacant. Nobody lives there. So I didn't have to pay for like a hotel or an Airbnb or anything like that.
That's great for you.
That made it really worth it. It was like,
Sure.
oh, well, I mean, we have a free place to stay. Let's go to my mom's house or whatever down there.
Nice.
She bought a home right before they built the new Clippers stadium.
Oh.
And after she bought it, they announced that they bought a big plot of land across the street to build the stadium. And it was funny because my mom can be a little exaggerative. I mean, how like how immigrant parent can be like, I'm right next to the stadium, and I'm like, okay, relax. Like you're a mile down the road. You're like a couple miles away or whatever it may be. And when we got to her house, I was like, oh crap, the stadium's right there.
Right there.
It's literally a single block away. You could stare at it from her porch.
That's amazing.
And I was like, oh crap, what incredible real estate she got. Like she bought it because it was just a dilapidated, completely destroyed home, and she fixed it like throughout during the pandemic.
Awesome.
Basically, she like took her time fixing it and whatnot. And it's great. She did a really great job.
Nice. So she's down in SoCal. You're up here. Right on.
No, she does both. She goes back and forth basically.
Oh, that's right. She's like you said, mostly empty.
Yeah, my mom's not married, so you can't pin this woman down. Like, oh, I'm gonna go to LA for the weekend. Like, she'll go at the drop of a hat. Like, yeah, she's living her best life. That's
awesome. I'm actually heading down this weekend for a family thing, but I missed out last weekend, and I want to do that someday. I'm really into, we're all online. You probably know Rick on the ACBA podcast. Like, God, how long has that been going on? That's got to be like one of the longest running toy things.
I think, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that this is the 10th year we've been doing it.
Yeah,
I think this might be the 10th year. I think we started in 2015.
Yeah,
I want to say that was when we started. So
yeah, that precedes the ToyMigos and a lot of the stuff, folks. And in fact, a lot of those folks were listening to what you guys were doing and kind of participating in ACBA. So yeah, it's cool. Do you do much of that? ACBA. Sorry, would you mind breaking down what ACBA is in terms of
ACBA is articulated comic book art. It's taking figure photography to the highest level you can and making it almost seem like it's a part of the book or a movie or whatever it is that you're drawing from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I used to do it an insane amount back in the day. The younger you are, the more unlimited time you have, and like the more creative your juices flow. The creative juices flow more than. I do it sparingly now, but I can't get rid of the fact that like when I buy something, even if I'm not going to do it, I'll go like, man, this will make for a great picture, or like
that's your lens. Oh, sorry, that was an unintended pun, but yeah, that's like your lens by which you enjoy the hobby. So that makes sense. You're judging these things on. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I wish I could remember. Oh yeah. It was the collegiate Legends figures. Those figures look great, really impressive looking stuff.
I don't know what those are. What
those are the football guys. They're like the football players that but I think the Savage Crucible guys are doing them.
Oh, that's a current one. Gotcha.
Yeah. The collegiate Legends. Like just yesterday we were doing the podcast and we saw those collegiate Legends and I was like, oh my God, I have an incredible figure photograph idea And I was like, God, I don't get, even if I don't do it like as much anymore, like I don't stop thinking that way. Like, oh, I could do this if I wanted to. And then it's funny because my friends always give me a hard time. Like, you're never going to take that picture. I was like, I know, but I just can't stop thinking that way. Like, they're like, oh, this would make for a great.
Yeah, that's the dangerous part of that though, right? Is sometimes buying figures that for that particular reason, but you're not really doing it as much.
Yeah.
And so it just,
for a hypothetical moment that may or may not come. Like I can't get rid of it. Even at the ToyMigos meetup, one of my purchases was a hypothetical picture pickup, and I don't know that I'm ever going to do it, but it's in my mind, and that's why I bought it.
I love it. That's cool, man. So you're now cornhole champion. You're about-ish a decade talking about toys, doing toy photography, building up a community, really. Because I mean, a lot of the folks who spun out and end up doing their own channels or just doing their own work, and even just like the ACBA thing, really, people were doing toy photography for sure, but it way really helped push that in a particular way, and kind of, I know you're not. You didn't mean it this way, but the way you sort of said, like, to the highest form possible, like, and I know that sounds like pretentious, but no, just the idea that you all were trying to push like the medium, like, how can we do this further? What are our objectives? If an objective is to make it look like it's part of the book, like that's a particular style and setup that I think just ends up pushing people. Excellence is good. So excellence is good. I just uttered that sentence. Sorry, go ahead.
And that's all that page has ever been about, is pushing each other and like, oh, you could do this to improve this. And like, it's all about helping each other and pushing it to the furthest that you can. Like, I mean, even now, like me and Cap Lives and Vince Figs and all of us, like we'll chat on Discord server and like, hey, I'm doing this picture. Like, can you spot anything that I missed, or like, or should I do anything different to what I'm doing right now? We still do that to this day, basically, pushing each other to
love it.
To the
best. Your creative salon. Anyway, to the Brick Something news, man. I appreciate you jumping on today. Let's go ahead and say hello to the folks that have been waiting patiently as we regale them with the war stories of the Mythic Meetup 2025 Cornhole Championship. I respect your humility, by the way. Yes, look at that. Anyway, what's up, Blake? Good to see you. I am having a great weekend. It's actually pretty busy. That's what happens when you're sick from school, man. You end up like paying for it later on your weekends and evenings, but it's all good. Brian Carr, good to see you, man. Hello. Mr. Ryan Clark is here. I am feeling much better. Today I feel like 100%. Yesterday I was saying 85 to 90. And I was responsible. I didn't go back to work sick. I tested negative and everything. But shout out to Paxlovid. So you keep saying young people, these young people say, I suspect that I've got a lot of years on you, but I just turned 49.
You know what? Not more than you think. A lot of people say that, and then they hear my age and they go, "Oh, I'm not that much older than you."
Okay. Well, we've got that. We've got that protective melanin or something. But I was just basically going to say that yes, the closer you are to 50, the more likely they are to give you the antivirals. And my doctor was like, "Yeah, just take them," and it seemed to work out pretty good. What's going on, Ray? You're not late. You're like a wizard. Yeah. You were here
right on time
when you need to be. Larry's Geeky World is here. What's going on, Larry? Good to see you. Sebastian, what's going on, man? You creating over there? Creating new 3D worlds. Nolan is here. Hello, Nolan. Adrian Tuvaz, hello to you, sir. Say hello to T. But Wholesome Warlock is here. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Thanks for watching, jumping in, dropping the purple hearts. Genmas, this guy not too far from you. I don't know if you've ever met Rick Jones in real life.
No, you know what's funny is that we've been in the same places at the same time. Like I'll show up to the stream the next week and he's like, I was at the San Jose Toy Show. I go, oh, you were? Like, yeah, I didn't see you. And
yeah. I was happy to meet him in May. That's when it was, the Mythic Meetup up in Sacramento.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you and I have probably been in the same space. Yeah, I've been at San Jose Toy Show a couple of different times, but
yeah, no question. I go every time because I'm so close. Morgan Hill's like right there. So
yeah. The last time I went, I think I got bitter because I got a flat tire in that stupid dirt parking lot. You know, when they moved it from the hotel to the yeah.
I miss
Anyways.
the way that it used to be.
I do too.
During COVID, they went to that convention center and it was awesome.
Yeah.
That was the best.
Yeah, that's I love that place. I used to do Lego shows out there. Anyway, Dave's, what's up, Dave? Dave's Dimension. Good to see you yesterday, hanging out with Kenny. Rick Jones is calling it right now. He's saying Labubu fad is gonna last 2 more years. Man, why you gotta hate on what the kids like, Rick? Stop being the old man.
How could you do this, Rick Jones?
Blake says, yeah, the adult arcade. Yeah, you know what's up with those.
Yeah, that was a bad choice of words.
This one, see, I'm here right now. This is where I was at when you were telling me that story. No judgment on June. I get it. We all live different lives, but 11 a.m. is late for most of the adult world. I get up super early.
He was not having it. He wasn't even humoring like, oh, maybe I'll be there. He was like, you're out of your mind. Yeah, I'm not going somewhere at 11 a.m. I was like, oh shit.
See, awesome. When I forgot to ask this, a missing piece from my brain. When you guys say you were out playing at Round 1, which is, I don't know if folks know, it's a place that actually started in Japan. I was brought over here. We have one in Stonestown in San Francisco. It's like a Chuck E. Cheese for adults, maybe it might be, but yes, there's like, it's like what's that other one down in Milpitas? Dave and Buster's.
It's just like Dave and Buster's, but with more of a Japanese,
definitely more Japanese
lean to it.
Yep. Cranes and the ton of crane games and
karaoke rooms.
Japanese games.
Karaoke rooms, yeah.
Karaoke rooms. They have those like big drumming. They have like taiko games and
taiko drums.
Yeah. Anyways, let's see. Do you know Cornlord? He's a legendary player. It sounds like
Cornlord.
It sounds like you are. This is your first real go at cornhole, so probably not.
Never played it before that past weekend. Never played it.
Yeah. All right. The Lord de Maíz. Let's see. Dorlaxon, what's going on, man? It's been a while. Waltar Nation. Good to see you. Twizzler19 is here. Hello. Paul Morales. What's up, man? See, look, Paul's always saying hello to folks. I love it. I love the vibe that Paul brings to the chat. Spaded One McDysentery. What's going on, man? Giggity. Adrian, on the photo stuff, I started doing toy photography in story format with music and have gotten really involved in the editing. It can be addictive. Yeah, man. They do great customs and photos. Him and his partner, his wife.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've gotten everybody. If I miss anybody, I'm so sorry. Sebastian, again, it's lagging. Sebastian's got a lot of love. Why is this not working? It's got a lot of love for the
you're
90s,
back now. You're back now.
And 90s pop culture. Yeah. No, when I was like clicking and stuff, it was lagging. But he's got a lot of love for the 90s. So yeah, just go check out the intro to any ACBA podcast episode because it's a 90s feast. I love it every time I see it.
Yeah, that sitcom.
What's up, Red Mac? Good to see you. Thanks for watching always, man. Appreciate you. Hella Geek is here. That's Hella Bay. But yeah, it's Hella Geek. Howdy. Just hopping on. And I think that is everybody for now. And here we go. All right. So I definitely wanted to hear about your cornhole exploits and celebrate because it seems like a fun weekend and you made it last the week to being able to tell everybody about it. But sorry, my mistake, Adrian. What's up, Tiffany? You know, it's that 2 Vaz zone. I can never tell which Vaz I got on the other end. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about just toys in general. But I do, you started talking about Frank and Son and these other shops. And I'm really curious about what those other shops that you ended up visiting. So let's talk a little bit about toy shopping IRL because there are people who still do it. So Frank and Son, this is the Frank and Son IG for folks, and you just kind of get a quick kind of sense of what the place is. But here you can kind of see that literally was like an old Sam's Club, Price Club, kind of like a Costco. I don't know if everybody had that, but so it's
That's
like
the
a
best
huge
way to
thing.
describe it, like a Costco.
Yeah, it was literally, if I'm remembering, it was an old Sam's Club. They took it over, and they've been in different locations. My brother used to go back in the day, and it wasn't this location, but
No, yeah.
it's just a bunch of booths. It's kind of like what I would call like an old school indoor swap meet, if folks are familiar. And so everybody has a stall, a booth, and it's like a everyday toy show basically, but you know, a little bit more permanent. There are cards. To your point, Labubus are there, but it's also card games. It's that's dope. What is that? That Mike Mignola Street Fighter. But you know, it's you kind of get the sense of like, you know, you're walking around and everybody's got their own booth selling different things. Yeah, they've got some retro stuff there, but more so it's more on the toy nerd tip. But what's the other big thing they've got? Oh, like idols, like K-pop idol stuff and J-pop
Yeah.
idol
They're stands for K-pop idols with their photo
Yep.
cards and the light up sticks and
yeah. But here's I'll bring up a video as we talk a little bit about it. But this is by Fanboy Cantina, so shout out to them. But they give you kind of a good walkthrough and just a breakdown. It's 65,000 square feet, over 200 vendors. You know, sometimes vendors are there, sometimes they're not, depending on the day. And they're only open like 3 days a week, Saturday, Sunday, and I think Wednesdays or something like that. But, you know, you kind of see they've got everything from like vintage stuff to new stuff, sometimes really new stuff. Like it was always kind of a thing to get like, you know, you can get like Street Fighter figures or Masterverse figures a little earlier, depending on the like pulse or whatever. But they've got everything, and I'm not going to play everything here, so I'm not totally stealing their stuff. But was this your second time? Because you went to the Mythic Meetup before, or is this...
No, I've been to Frankensons a lot because we used to do this thing. So there's this anime studio by the name of Studio Trigger. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They've done animes like Kill La Kill and Promare, and they're really big studios. So I've been going to anime conventions and getting, you know, art and sketches from industry individuals for like almost 20 years at this point.
Gotcha.
One time we were there with that studio, and they were I didn't know, I found out when I was there, that studio is super into Marvel Legends. They have a whole show where the character was completely based on a Toy Biz Ghost Rider. So and it's called Inferno Cop. And so we were hanging out with them one time at their booth or at their signing table or whatever, and they were like, "Hey, you want to go to Frankensons?" And I didn't know what it was. And my friend goes, "Oh, Frankensons! Like I'm local. Like I've been to Frankensons plenty of times." And I was like, "Yeah, a chance to go to Frankensons with an anime studio? Let's go do it."
Like the whole studio was just like, "Okay, we're closing up shop." A couple different artists.
We screwed people over. I felt awful. Because we were there with them at the table, and they were like, they're like, "You guys are going to Frankensons? Can we go?" And we were like, "Yeah, what? Let's go." And the guy stands up and he goes like, "They're not signing anymore. They're done for the day. Sorry, guys." And then they left, and I was like, "Oh no! Like what did we do?" We went with them to Frankensons, and it was funny because they canceled all their signings the next day to go back again. And we felt like such jerks. Like, man, we really didn't intend for them to leave. We just mentioned that we were going to Frankensons, and they're like, "Oh, Frankensons, let's go! Like, we're going!" Like, so that was funny. That was fun going with them there. And I want to say that was like 2014 or 2013 or something like that. It was when it was the old Frankensons, the one with absolutely zero AC. And it was awful in there, and they loved it. They're used to the Japanese like thick summers, so they were unbothered by being in there without AC. I was in there going like this, and they were taking their sweet time at every booth, looking at everything with like wide open eyes. And I was like, "Man, are you guys done? Like, you guys see everything in here?"
That's amazing though. That's awesome. They're here visiting, doing a signing, and they're like, I get it, because I'd be the same way. Like, where the local toy shops are, let's go. And someone's talking to them about it. They're like, okay, take us. And then they went back the next day.
And it's funny because I started to like not intentionally butter them up, but like when I knew Anime Expo was coming up down in LA, I'd go like, oh, like these new Legends are out right now. I'm gonna go get them and then give that to the guys so that they don't have to leave to get new figures. And I would give them like, you know, the new Venom or the new Spider-Man. I'd go like, hey, you guys got Pizza Spider-Man? No? Okay, I have 2 of them. Here you go. And like they would like fight. Well, not really fight, but they'd go like, well, I want the Carnage. Like, well, I want the Venom and you can have the Spider-Man. And like, you know. So yeah, we just started like this tradition of like every time we'd go, it'd be like, do you guys get the new Legends yet? No, which ones you want? And then we'd like, here you go. Yeah, so that was fun too.
That's awesome. So it's not new to you, but for folks who are watching, you've probably heard people talk about it a lot. It's really impressive. It's because there's so many different things in one space. And for me, honestly, like, it's not like I go there and buy a bunch of stuff necessarily, because it's like, 2025. So much of my toys are pre-ordered, like sometimes years in advance, or, like you can kind of get stuff. And if I was local, I'd probably be there all the time picking up stuff. But, bringing it back up here if I'm flying or whatever, or driving even, depending, we've got the kids and stuff. It's not just something that I do regularly. But that said, it's just a cool place to walk through, like, and just sort of like, there's an old Toys R Us sign. There's one wall that I don't know what it's been this recently, but there was a case that was all a bunch of like old Mosquita or old Robotech stuff and old Bandai robots. So it like switches out, and they've got like old bikes on the wall, and then all the toys themselves, you'll always see like cool things. So it's fun and it's huge. And, we'll get to this in a little bit, but we don't have anything like it up here because real estate is at a premium. People don't realize that when we say LA, this isn't actually LA. It's its own separate municipality and LA County, city of industry. It's sprawling. And so there's more space and, space for stuff like this, people, doll heads, whatever. They're all dolls, but 1/6 doll heads. And it's got a lot of cool stuff. Some of my favorites are kind of have closed down and left since, but still it's a cool place to just go hang out, see stuff, and not a great place to eat, in my opinion. That's like, I'd say stay away from the food. There's only like one little place where you can buy food. Sorry guys, but sorry to the owners of that, but it's not great. But anyway, that's Frankenson. But what's it like walking around? What was it, like 20 of you or something walking around there at a time? Or do you guys kind of like split up?
I want to say there was like 30 of us, but yeah, I think I said it a little earlier. We just kind of had no choice but to split up. We all started together, and then like somebody would go like, oh, this booth has this. And then like some people would stop with that person. And then it was like, oh, I don't want anything from that booth. We're going to keep going. And then like we'd keep going and like slowly but surely like start to separate into little groups, because it was just impossible to be 30 of us in a booth. It was not going to work. So yeah, we kind of like all saw each other. Like we'd be at one booth and then the other group would be like across from us at the other booth and be like, hey, like, but we all started together. We all met up right at the front and then started the pilgrimage together and kind of separated here and there and went to our own respective booths and whatnot.
Yeah, it's a place that a lot of folks have heard of. So here's like Spaded ones, and I really got to stop messing about and visit Frankincense for once. Spaded, are you in that area, or are you saying like if you fly out or come through? Because I know there are some folks who are sort of from other places and they hear everybody talking about Frankincense. I think it's definitely a cool place. I don't know that like it's worth like say a distanced pilgrimage per se, especially again in 2025. But that's just me. But if you're making a trip out of it, your Disneyland's not too far from there. If you're doing that kind of stuff, didn't you guys like do some Disney?
We did do that. We went
like
to Disney.
Disney.
We went to downtown Disney. Yeah, we went to downtown Disney. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's not far. And then there's the other pieces that there are a lot of cool shops around there. So real quick, Trevor wanted to know if his eyes were going bad or if that is in fact the Rickdom.
Trevor, it's me, Rickdom from the ACBA Podcast, but I'm also the ToyMigos 2020-2025 Cornhole World Champion. Could you believe this, Trevor?
Get it straight, Trevor. The guy's got cornhole skills. And shout out to Ernie because yes. Apparently that's
shout out to Ernie for helping me so much to achieve that goal.
Yeah, so Spaded one's pointing out that Studio Trigger did Cyberpunk Edge Runners, which we now have awesome figures from a bunch of different companies, but I think pretty notably right now, Jada's stuff for sure. Hey, and here is this guy, Rick. He says, "Sorry,
Yeah, it's Kevin. I was talking to him earlier today.
What's up, Kevin?
I wish you were there, Kevin, but you weren't there. You were in another country. Can you believe this, Kevin?
Man, can you imagine? Yeah, that's like a trip. That's one of those things where it's like, anyway, yeah. Kevin's a big boy, and he can decide if what's worth it to him to travel across the continent, literally. But still, I would say it'd be absolutely worth it if, like, what you all did. Everybody come together, out doing their thing. So
yeah, that guy I keep mentioning, he's a figure photographer, Brad Harper. He flew from Detroit. I mean, not Detroit, sorry, DC. He flew from DC and came out to the meetup. Yoko came from her island, and Machu and J-Shock came from the other side of the country. It was crazy. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's Trevor saying, "Wait, what? Cornhole? Oh, damn! We need to hit the bags next time I'm out there." I love it. Now
you want to take on the champ, Trevor?
They're gonna go after your trophy and your mask.
I know, man. They want my precious mask. I won't put it on again because it cut me off. But
and then for the Bay Area report from a fellow Mexican toy fan. This is I don't know if you're familiar with the Adam Power channel, but you should be. But is the Wiz, he is more north. He's like Sacramento area, but he's given us the report of the Bay Area sports. I'm pretty sure that's what those numbers in that combination mean. So
yeah. They were playing Seattle. They were playing Seattle today.
Oh, football or something. Kevin says when he does go, it'll be that to see his Filipino homies Brick and Rick. Yes. Mexipino.
Yeah.
Oh, so Spaded is down in yeah, man, you're in SoCal. Found a couple of shops to buy what I'm looking for consistently. San Bernardino. Yeah, it's not too bad. San Bernardino.
Yeah.
I'll be in Pasadena next week in Bellflower, where I went to high school. Anyway, so that's that. But you mentioned you went to other shops outside of ones, and I'm curious, which shops did you end up at?
So here's the thing. I was so mad when we were leaving. Well, I wasn't mad, but I was frustrated when we left Frank and Sons because Machu and them were like, oh, like before we came here, we went to this place called Mike's Collectibles, like, and we found everything that you were looking for. And I was like, oh man, like we should go. And they were like, oh, but we're gonna go to dinner. And I was like, oh, okay, well maybe I'll go after dinner. And once we left dinner, it was way too late. And I was like, oh, I'll just go tomorrow. Come to find out, they're only open like 2 days of the week. And the next day was not one of those days that they were open. So we didn't get to go to that one, but they claimed that Mike's Collectible shop was the best shop of the weekend. I never went there, but
I've never been there either. Is it in Orange? Closer to Disneyland? Is it this place? Mike's Toys and Stuff?
Mike's Toys and Stuff. Yep, that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
I think I might have been there because they're probably not too far from My D Pins Customs, which is like, as far as I know, there's very few California Four Horsemen retailers, and Mighty Pins is one of them. And they're not too far from, they're in Anaheim. They've got a big shop in Anaheim. They used to have a spot in at Frank and Sons, but no longer.
Yep.
And they actually are up here too, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But they're closer to us these days, up in Union City. But so this was the spot, huh?
If you're in the area, go there. They had all the Gamerverse stuff already, the Marvel Legends stuff. They had the Scooby-Doo Jada stuff. They had everything essentially. I was not there, but everybody said that they had it all. But we did find really good shops to go to. We went to Toy Arena proper because Toy Arena has a booth
I was gonna say,
inside of Frank and Sons.
That was going to be my recommendation after Frank and Sons was Toy Arena, and not too far, shortest drive from Frank and Son proper. Yeah. They have a booth there. Did you know them from before, like all the anime stuff? Because they're always at anime shows, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I've known them for a long time. I didn't know that they'd had their own shop. It was fun. I knew that they were at Frank and Sons. I knew that.
Oh, okay.
And I'd see them at toy shows and whatnot. But when I was at Frank and Sons, I went to their booth and I was like, "Hey, do you have the new blocky Soundwave?" the action class one, that big one. And they were like, no, we sold out this morning. And I was like, okay, great. Like, that sucks. I was like, one of the only things I wanted. And then as I walked out, he's like, just go to the store. We have more there. And I was like, the store? And they were like, yeah, it's down the street. Like, it's like a few miles away. Go to the store. We have it there. And I was like, cool. And we just went to the store.
The shop is great. So I know. So folks don't know. When Trevor asked, I meant to bring this up. Is this the Rickdom? So the name. I've been meaning to ask you this. Rickdom. Does that work on multiple levels? Is this because of the Gundam?
No. Yeah, it is. It is the Gundam. It is the Gundam. It was so funny. So a long time ago, I want to say like 2012 or like 2011, was like close to like, I mean, I've always been into anime, but like not deep enough. You know, I knew all the surface level anime. You know, I knew Yasha and Dragon Ball and Naruto and whatever it may be. You know, and I liked anime and I watched it, but I wasn't deep in the trenches of it. And it was funny because one day I was talking to friends, and I knew Gundam because I'd watched Gundam Wing on Toonami and whatnot back in the day. And I'm sitting there and like we're just hanging out, and my friend is like building a model kit. He's a huge Gundam builder and whatnot. And he's sitting there like whittling away at the Gundam, and he goes, Rick? And I go, yeah. He goes, what's your name? And I go like, Rick? And he goes, that's your real name, Rick? It's not Richard, it's not Ricardo. I go, no, my name's Rick. I'm not Richard, I'm not Ricardo, like it's just Rick. And he goes, and your last name? And I go, Dominguez. He goes,
Dominguez.
Rick
I was wondering.
Dominguez.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
He goes,
that was
Rick
my
Dominguez. Guess. Yeah. He goes, Rick Dominguez, Rickdom. And I go, I mean, I guess so. And he goes, your name is Rickdom. And I go, I go essentially. And he goes, oh shit, your name is Rickdom. And I go,
and you didn't know, you had no idea what a Rickdom was. Okay, gotcha.
I'd never watched that Gundam, the original. I'd never watched it. He goes, I'm going to change your life. And I go, what? And he goes, there's a robot with the name Rickdom. And I go, there is? And he shows me the robot. And immediately I gravitated towards it because, like I said, I had surgery on one of my eyes and I just can't see well out of it anymore.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I've always been a one-eyed individual. So when I saw him, I was like, mono-eyed. Like, that's my robot. Like, this is going to be my thing. And I immediately binged that season of Gundam. And it's so funny because it's coming full circle. One of the first times, like, I'd really started going to meet with Studio Trigger and, like, getting their signatures and, like, having them draw people from Kill la Kill and, you know, Cyberpunk or whatever it was, you know. I was standing there and they always say the same thing, like, okay, what's your name? And I went, make it out to Rickdom. And they go, Rickdom? And I was like, yeah. And they go, that's your name? And I go, yeah, that's my name. And the guy goes, this guy's name's Rickdom. And they go, what? All the artists stand up. They go, is his name really Rickdom? And I show them my badge. And they're like, that's not really your name. Like, that's the nickname you put on the badge. I go, no. And I pull out my card. And because the Japanese abbreviate things so much, they're like, this guy's name is really Rickdom. And, like, they start to lose it. And it's funny because for the rest of that day, they're like, I'm so sorry. We don't want to draw you anything else. Can we just all draw you Rickdom? And I went, yeah, awesome. I guess. And they refused to draw me anything else. They're like, this guy's Rickdom. We all have to draw a version of Rickdom for him. And they're like, we don't want to draw. Like, we're so sorry. If you can come back tomorrow, we'll draw whatever you want. But we can't get Rickdom out of our mind. Can we just draw you all Rickdom? And it was funny because one of the guys that was there doesn't draw anime. He only draws, like, ships and, like, trains and cars. And I have it somewhere. And he goes, like, I'm going to draw a train. And the train's face is going to be Rickdom. And I was like, okay. And he drew me a train with Rickdom's mono eye in front of it. And he was like, that's you. And I was like, okay, cool. So, yeah, that was the story of them all, like, losing their... And anytime I'd see them after that, they go, Rickdom's back. And they go, like, oh, this guy's Rickdom. Like, yeah, that's awesome. Hilarious. Yeah, so that's how that name came about.
Man.
Yeah, that I've been obsessed with the character, and I always buy it whenever I see it, and that's always been my name and my avatar ever since I found out about the character.
Love it. Yeah, that's old school. And this is the stuff that I remember as a kid seeing, like when we'd go down to Little Tokyo in LA, like whether it's drawings or you know whatever they had there. Rikudomu. That's cool, man. Rickdom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's funny because I've always wondered. There's another robot that looks just like Rickdom, except he's red. and his name is Rick Diaz. And I always wonder, is there a guy out there whose real name is Rick Diaz that's obsessed with Rick Diaz the way that I am with Rick Tom? I've never met him, but there's got to be.
That's awesome.
There's got to be. Yeah.
So definitely check out Toy Arena. Oh God, what city are they in? It's not Industry. It's the next city over. I'll find it in a second. But whatever, just look it up. But this is the shop. You walk in. Actually, what they don't show here is that lobby. How impressive was that lobby? Did you have a good time in that lobby?
all the kits on display that they've built.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of
figures and whatnot.
They've got
wildly
it's
impressive.
Not just that, they've got a bunch of other figures and stuff there.
Yeah, just regular action figures as well. Yeah, not just Gunpla that they've built. That's obviously really impressive. But
yeah,
I wonder why they don't have pictures of that. That's like such a cool thing.
Yeah,
Strange.
And they've got their big old Gundam here on the side, but it's a really cool shop.
Yeah,
they've got a bunch of model kits, if that's your like standard figurized stuff, but also a lot of figures, everything. Like you can kind of see your Storm collectibles. They have some Mezcos. I think the last thing I got there was I couldn't wait for my Mezco King Conan because I was going to be in LA. I was waiting for it to drop at Big Bad. So I was like, oh, let me just pick it up because I knew I wanted the double elbowed body for a different Mezco head. Anyway, it's a cool place. Check it out. Really cool people. And I love just talking to them because they've got a lot of like, I got really into these weird toys in weird. I say weird, but I guess I should say less popular here than they are in Japan. The Bandai SIC line, the
Kamen Rider line, right?
Yeah. So they some old stuff there, and I was talking to a couple folks there who were like really into it, and we're just kind of geeking out. But really good people. SoCal has got those big things up here, and so that's actually not a huge space, but it's a cool like industrial park kind of area. You also probably saw it there earlier. It was like that was like their tent sale, their outdoor area, but it's on the indoors. That said, we
went to another shop that was really great. I was going to say after this, we went to another really great shop called Toys in the Box.
Okay, never heard of it.
That place was we've never heard of it either. It's funny. Vince was looking up that guy Vince Figs. He's always maximizing wherever we go. Like anywhere we're at, he's like, okay, I'm going to look up every single toy store. Like, you want to go to this one? You want to go to this one? And he found that place, and it was so funny because it's this place. I'm going to warn anybody.
LA.
As great as this store is, this is in East LA. This place is for real in the trenches. And we went to the address,
I grew up
and
in LA.
There was
it's fine.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm Latino. East LA, not going to be a problem, but it was a dicey spot. It was a dicey spot, and it's funny because you go to the front. I'm prefacing this because you guys need to know because it ruined a lot of things for everybody. There is no front entrance. So when you get dropped off or you Google it, there is no front entrance. They don't tell you anywhere that the entrance is in the back alley. So it was so funny because we ended up finding it on our own. But Chamba, Machu, and J-Shock are blowing up our phones like, we're at the place. Where is it? Where is this place? And like we had terrible connection, so we weren't able. We'd be like, it's in the back. There's a back alley. So you go to the back alley. And like they spent like 30 minutes having to try it because there's nothing that says there's a back alley. Nothing that tells you that. So you're just kind of like, what the hell? Like I'm in the front and like there's nothing here. What's happening? Like, where do I go? And it's funny because they got taken to like a completely different wrong area by their Uber. And then they got a second Uber to take them to the right area. And even once they got there, like I said, they were like, there's nothing here. Everything's boarded up. Like there's nothing in the front. And it's because their entrance, for whatever reason, is in the back alley. Sure. And the store itself, wildly impressive. It's funny because when you enter, I thought, this place is gonna suck. As soon as you enter, huge wall of Funko Pops. And I was like, man, not that I have a problem with Funko Pops. If you collect those, there's not a problem. I have a fair amount of them. But that's not what we wanted. We wanted articulated figures. So I was like, damn it. He took us to a Funko Pop spot.
Yeah, I'm just scrolling through the stuff, and it's pretty, I mean, at least what they do cover. So it looks pretty good.
They have everything. And it was wildly impressive, and it was really sick. On their walls is nothing but action figure photography.
Oh, that's
and under it, they have the people's apps. So like it's not just like they stole somebody's pictures and put it up on their wall. They had their Instagram handles and whatnot right under it to promote their stuff. That was awesome. And And this place is a little bit different. Not only do they have obviously they have like vendors and whatnot that they buy all their figures through, but they had I guess they buy used figures from people. So they had a ton of good figures for great prices. Like Brad got a Hot Toys what's his name? Echo from Bad Batch for $130, and it was complete in the box. So because they're buying things used and whatnot, and they're listing whatever price that they want, it was a great deal, and they have a lot of good deals for used items. Vince bought a used Mafex Terminator for $50, I think. It was great store, awesome selection.
Cool.
I couldn't believe that there was a better store when Machu was like, yeah, that store was cool, but Mike's Collectibles and stuff was better. I was like, man, really? I can't imagine that this store is better than the other, but he called it and he went to both. So I'm trusting Machu and Jay Shot on them saying that was a better store.
Like I said, I'm going to be down there this weekend. I don't know if Ted's watching, my brother, but if we are, maybe we will take a little side trip to this spot.
Dude, worth it. They had so much there. It was wildly impressive.
So that's the thing. Like, there are quite a few different spots. I mean, there's places down in Eagle Rock that's cool, like just a cool pinball spot with like comics and toys. There's a bunch of different places that I've kind of just gone around down there, and every time I'm like, damn, I'm jealous, because up here in the Bay, we've got, like I said, it's expensive up here, and we've gone through our economic upheaval, and people have come and gone, and stores have come and gone. But there is, I'd say, two places, but really this main place. Have you been out to Comic and Figure Addicts? It's really part of this bigger thing called Paper and Plastic.
Absolutely. I've been to CFA. We were there for a free comic book day. Juan Macaros is a local legend. Absolutely. Went to their old shops too when they had that other one, and like that little plaza next to a nail salon or whatever it was.
Where Black Hole Comics was. Yeah. So
yeah.
I love that spot. This is actually where I was hoping to do. I'm trying to work on like some kind of like indie toy mythic meetup type thing here, maybe in 2026.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
They're down. It's just a matter of like, I'll pick your brain because you've been there, so you're familiar. But it'd be kind of a cool spot, don't you think? Like, they do signings.
Perfect.
And,
it was a perfect spot for it. Yeah.
Perfect. So anyway, it's basically, I tell people it is Frankenson's light, like super light. So it's small.
Diet Frankensons, I call it.
Yes. There's like 6 stores, maybe one sort of comic book area, then a CFA, Comic and Figure Addicts, which is the biggest main store, and then there's smaller booths along there. And so shout out to the folks there if you go. Unfortunately, my 2 favorite places to go are Gil Lomas's Black Hole Comics, or my favorite stalls, I should say, booths. But he's actually, this is his last weekend. He's moving out, I believe, down to
Texas,
the Texas area. Yep.
No, Gil.
So I don't know. And then Major Reaction, I don't know if I'm hoping he's still going to be there doing his stuff, but it's like one of the few spots where you can check out.
He said he's staying. So.
Nice.
Yeah, he's staying. Oh, oddly enough,
we got to meet up there one day.
This man's photograph was on display at Toys in the Box. I was like, oh crap, it's Major Reaction.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Crazy. Yeah, we got to go meet up there one day. You got to come out here to the East Bay, but yeah, it's a cool spot. Both Gil was really into it, as was Major Reaction, Matt. They were just like, let's do the Mythic Meetup thing here. So, but I get it. He's moving away. This is the last weekend. I don't know if you can go. I'm going to be down in LA, so I'll probably be checking out the Toys in the Box. So that's the one cool.
Great.
That's the one cool place I like to take people a lot. There's this other place called Pot of Gold out in Dublin, which is pretty cool. But I did want to shout out. I've never heard of that. Yeah, it's cool for like used toys. We've gone a couple times with Michael from Toy Habits to meet him out there. But this spot is relatively new to me. So there's a bigger store in Hayward. It seems to me like a toy arena, and that's like heavily Japanese stuff. Apparently their warehouse store is much larger, but I just went before I hopped on here. I drove down to San Mateo because this weekend is like their opening weekend. And so they're doing it's a tiny shop out here. It's kind of cool. A lot of model kits, Gunpla stuff, but some figers. And they're, I was talking with them. They're just saying, we're just trying to figure out what to bring out from the Hayward shop here that people would be into. So
And
I
this
just
is
went
Pot
and
of
said
Gold,
hello. What's that?
You said this is called Pot of Gold?
No, I'm sorry. This is, I didn't even say the name of the store. This is ACBA HQ. Pot of
That's
Gold
one of
is
our favorite
another
stores.
shop.
That's one of our favorite stores to go to.
Okay,
ACBA
so
HQ.
you're familiar.
It's the
Yeah.
best. Yeah.
Yes.
Love ACBA HQ. It's right by CFA. So we go our trip is we go CFA, we go ACBA HQ, and then we hit all the local like Walmarts and Targets.
Yeah, we got to do that one day. We'll connect.
Yeah.
But they just opened the San Mateo store here this weekend. It's kind of like their soft launch. They're giving away free gashapon. I went and grabbed my kiddo some One Piece TCG stuff. So
have you ever been in the city of Redwood City often?
Where?
Have you ever been in Redwood City often?
Yeah. Like it's not far from me at all.
There is a store in Redwood City that's only open during the week. It is Frankensons, but it's all Gunpla. And it's called New Type. This store is a marvel. It's all model kits, like just warehouse lines and lines of model kits, and like it is wildly impressive. They run the magazine, the Gunpla magazine, New Type.
Yep.
It's wildly impressive. It's super cool, but they don't open on weekends, so that really sucks. But that's a really fun store to go to too. That's a great store.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I'm actually not a big Gunpla guy, but I love to just look and to see the different stuff. So I might check that out if I So hey, well, let's check in on the folks. People have thoughts. So here, Kevin has been to Mighty Pins. Yeah. So actually at that Paper and Plastic where Comic and Figure Addicts is, Mighty Pins also has a booth in that back corner. They're the ones with all the Legions, the new Legions stuff up there. Which is another reason for us to want to do it out there. Let's see. Spaded One McDysentery has been to every toy shop you can find around me, and I've never seen a single Four Horsemen product on any shelf anywhere. Yeah, you want to go to Mighty Pins in Anaheim. They're an authorized reseller, and they've got the stuff there if you were curious. So which story? I wonder which story he was talking about. I'm not sure what story that was, but stories. Highly articulated is saying, as someone who speaks Japanese, I always assumed you had just taken a Japanese abbreviation for a name like which is funny. I had guessed that it was like, it's probably like Rick Dominguez, right? And it worked out both ways. I love that. Very awesome. Let's see. This guy. So you mentioned Vince Figs.
Yeah.
I'd seen you all talking on the ToyMigos in the chat the other day, and I think it might have been even ACBA, I forget. But yeah, man, I am in the Bay Area, so I definitely would love to connect. Pinoy too, right? That's what I heard.
100%, baby.
So
absolutely.
Yeah, we gotta meet, man. And then Kimono My House, of course, Emeryville. So
that's a legend. Kimono My House is a legend.
Like I said, we don't have the same big shops that you'll see in LA, but we do have some stuff. But I don't know. Like I said, most of my toys pre-ordered like 2 years in advance these days, and that's kind of just where I'm at. That's the nature of toy stuff. But anyway, that's awesome, man. Yeah, we gotta hook up one day and head out there.
Yeah, absolutely. We go out to CFA and Akiba all the time. Okay. So yeah, we got to do it. We've even done it like after the toy shows before too. Like we go to the toy show and it's like, hey, you want to go to CFA? Like, yeah, let's go to CFA. And then like, oh, let's go to Akiba. I'm like, okay, like, just kind of do the loop or whatever.
Nice. All right. So let's talk Gundam real quick. I will say that like Gundam has never been a thing that I've really been into. Like it's always been around. I love the art. I love the mech stuff, but I never really got into the series. And the most recent one I tried was on, I think it's like a newer Netflix show. And for some reason, I just never got into it. I'm not a huge like military guy, I will say. Probably the most like military type title that I got into, aside from like G.I. Joe back in the day, was like Robotech. right? The idea of like
Yeah.
the defense force and, Southern Cross, even like, that stuff. And I went back and watched the Japanese versions of it, and I enjoyed it, but generally speaking, it's not my bag. So, can you help sell me on, like, tell me what I should check out? Like, if you had to recommend it to somebody, what would it be?
Well, I'm glad, and it's not to be blasphemous because, it's seen as such a like classic and like,
yeah, totally.
like
And
essential piece of media, but that original Gundam is a hard watch sometimes. If you've never watched Gundam before, I would never recommend that one first. I would never do it. I always recommend like the American like essentials, like like Gundam Wing and G Gundam, like those are always the one I recommend first. Because like you said, the military aspect of it is really high in that first one. It's really, really high, and like the politics of things like that's really high there. And I'd never recommend that one first. There's a lot of really fun modern ones, like Little Witch from Mercury's good. I haven't watched that new one that has a ridiculously spelled name. It's spelled like GQUUUUUUXXXX. Like it's spelled something ridiculous. That one's crazy. Iron Blood Orphans. That's not that long ago. That was a great one too.
Give me one that I could try and focus in on.
Gundam Wing.
Gundam Wing. Okay.
Gundam Wing. Yeah, go Gundam Wing.
When I was a kid, I'd see this stuff, and then when I was in college is when I started to get a little bit more access to stuff, like people passing around tapes or whatever. And it was never great, like, because sometimes it would be dubbed, sometimes it would like have, it was just hard to follow, and you could never get like a whole series.
Yeah.
So nothing ever grabbed me, but I should give it a shot. I was in Japan this past summer, and I went to the Tamashii Nation store, and like they always have amazing, like right now, or sorry, when I was there, it's probably changed now. Things like every month, but it was like a huge Gundam display, and it was just like a bunch of old toys, new toys, a lot more newer, and a lot of like concept art and cell animation stuff. And I was like, I was asking myself, like, why haven't you gravitated to this, or like, why hasn't it hit? But it just hasn't.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's funny because I've always loved building the kits.
So
whether I was like
Gunpla guy.
Always been super into Gunpla kits. Always. They're like really relaxing to me. Building them like is like, like for Legos is with some people, like my stepmom, she's huge into Legos. Like that's all she does is buy new Lego kits, and like she has Snow White's castle she hasn't even built because she says she's saving it for a really stressful day. But like a big de-stressor for me has and always will be Gundam building. So even before I knew my name of Rickdom, I'd always buy kits just because, I knew the iconic robots. I knew RX-78. I knew the Zaku. And obviously I knew Gundam Wing and I knew G Gundam, and so I just always built kits. I just always found it super relaxing.
So really the kits before even the show itself.
Yeah, I mean, I watched Gundam Wing growing up, but I really didn't have like the greatest sense of it because I would just watch whatever Toonami had on. If I missed a day, well then, if I missed a week, I missed 2 weeks, like then I'd be really off. But I would just watch whatever was on screen. And once I got to high school, it was like, find the pirating sites and watch all of Gundam Wing and like watch all of G Gundam and like watch Thunderbolt or whatever insert whatever Gundam you want into that. But
now I'm doing the math. So he was in high school on the site. So yeah, I'm pretty sure you're a lot younger than me.
I graduated in 2012.
Okay, cool. You could have been one of my students. Good to know.
Oh my god! There you go. Yeah, I went to an awesome school. I went to a school where all of my teachers were absolute nerds. Like my teacher would have a study hall. He'd be playing like World of Warcraft music or like Lord of the Rings music in the background. Like my other teacher had the VHS like set of Dragon Ball where like all of them make up Shenron, and like my history teacher we traded comic books with. So my school was full of absolute nerds, and it was the best. Those were great.
I know some folks through union work at Morgan Hill. Cool. Adam saying, I wish at least you have shops. I know he's a trek from Vancouver, but Vancouver had some pretty cool shops that folks introduced me to. Yes, they have Toys R Us, but there was also Ages 3 and Up, which was really cool. They have like one of the it's not as big as Frankenson's, but it's this epic actual store. It's not like a bunch of smaller stalls up there. I'm forgetting the name, but they've got some cool stuff, and it's not too far from you, man. Folks are agreeing with you. Gundam Wing seems to be the one that other folks are agreeing. Check it out.
Yeah, no question. Gundam Wing.
Or Thunderbolt, Adam says. Cool. Hey, Spaded One just started last year. Discovered building Gundam last year with no real prior knowledge of the franchise. That lore feels like an impenetrable law. The thing is, it's not a single lore, right? It switches up, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's so much. Yeah, each individual show, like, they don't always reference old things. Like, sometimes they do, but like, there'll be an anime where they don't mention like RX-78 or Char or whatever it is. It won't always be that way.
Hey, Vindicator, what's up, man? Ozarcida are really good. I love this guy. Is this one of those guys that we hang out with on the Discords? He's always we're into the same third-party Warcraft fantasy stuff. Gundam X is another one.
Yeah, and X, 00, those are good.
All right, I got to check it out. Fortress Madness, what's going on, man? I got to hang out with this guy last week. Yeah, I build the kits, but I've never watched the show. See, you're not alone. Like, and I get that. Some folks are just, as a kid, I've always been sort of interested in the mech first. And if anything, like most of my infos come from just like looking stuff up, and like learning like what a Rickdom was, or like what were the names of all those things that I grew up with. So pretty cool. All right. That said, man, it's obviously in the zeitgeist because people are doing all sorts of weird. Speaking of Labubu, I wanted to share this with you as what I assumed was a Gundam fan. I'm glad I was right. Gunpla and Labubu mashups by Hajime Model Studio. The whole video, folks should check it out. By the way, I didn't say this earlier, but you've probably seen that lower third thing showing up. But if there was stuff that you were curious about that we're looking up, I always put the doc there so you can follow up later and check out the links. But this is a really cool video. It talks all about building it, but I thought that was kind of cool, right? For the kids, as you say.
Yeah, and we have a ton of those. They're like the PVC figures of Labubu, where they're like in robot suits. We have a ton of them. So maybe we'll do that one of these days. They have one that looks like the Zaku from Gundam. So.
And then people will like make their own deal. Like this is people 3D printing kind of a Labubu take,
Wow, yeah.
So it's kind of cool. This is from I don't know who actually did it. Kawaii Park kind of shows like other people's creations, but I think it's fascinating that, especially out here, it sounds like obviously folks in the chat are very familiar with Gundam, but like, we've got whatever here in the West, Superman, Batman, the X-Men, right? So like we sometimes have no idea, like these things that are even arguably larger properties than some of these. So this was just like a Capybara. It's got Chupacabra on the brain.
Chupacabra.
But this page wants to be killed for some reason, so I'm going to exit that page. No. But yes, that's a cool thing. I just think it's kind of interesting what people are doing with all this stuff, and it looks like I'm probably pushing the browser too much. But let's see. This one I really wanted to show because this is a little bit more up my alley these days. With
wow, somebody did a Stormtrooper, huh?
Yeah, folks doing customs. This is by Death Pizza. I think it's cool to see people kind of mash aesthetics and mash worlds together. This started off as this back in the day. It was just like, hey, check this out. I'm kind of sketching out an idea. And then, that's the thing with models too. I think they lend themselves to like, classic kit bashing, right? Getting the parts and working them together.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
But kind of cool. I dig it. And this stuff is just inspiring to me. It's just cool to watch other people do. And I think it just ultimately pushes our imaginations for like what could be. Like this could be a cool figure. Even if you kind of like deviated more from the Stormtrooper thing and the Gundam thing and created your own line of these cool looking troops or whatever. But
yeah, and it makes all the sense in the world because those Zakus, they have like the hoses in the front, like the
Mhm.
stormtroopers have, like on the helmet and whatnot. Makes perfect sense.
Great colors, man. Great work by Death Pizza. I've always been in love with the gigantic shield, or sometimes like this one on the shoulder, and then that pauldron.
Yeah, that's
I
so
don't
good.
know. Just wanted to share that. And then this one's is again one of those weirdo fun things.
Oh
Full
my
disclosure,
god!
it's done via AI, so you know that it is what it is. But conceptually, it's like, oh, cool. Look at like Teletubbies as these guys. I think is really, really cool. And then, you know, it's all digital, again, generated by a computer, probably pulling from other people's stuff, admittedly, but
Yeah,
this is the thing. And this is posted by, I should be saying their names, my bad. Jing, what is it again? Oh, Ling Jung Lung. And again, I'll have all the links. If anything, if it fuels the imagination for people to eventually do more customs, actual real world customs, or maybe a new figure line, like, I don't know,
yeah.
there's something real cute
Using it
about
as
this
using it as a
national-
basis, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
Makes sense.
It's like, you know, the old sketchbook. But anyway, let's talk about toys.
Yeah, let's
This
do
popped
it.
up today, man. And so this is an actual figure that you can buy, not a custom thing. This is not a model kit.
Yeah,
So I know folks have been talking a lot about the Jada Street Fighter stuff and the Storm Arena Street Fighter stuff. Awesome lines, and like that's well known and established. There have been Kyoto, Revoltech based figs that have slowly started to trickle out, and this Chun-Li they were showing for a while, and it was just interesting to me to hear people's reactions to it. But now we're getting and a lot of it was about the body. Not everybody, but I know there was some like weird commentary about like, oh, she's off. I've looked at the SF6 model and like the hips and stuff. Like, no, she's got the thickness in
Yeah.
SF6. But I'm just in love with what Mr. Lee ends up doing with these figures and kind of like posing them up and showing us. I think it's neat to actually see the figure in hand. What are you big on the Street Fighter stuff? Are you like in a camp, or are you kind of just open to it all?
I'm open to it all, but I'm also in a camp. Like, I think there's nothing wrong with Storm doing their own thing, and like even June doesn't think there's anything wrong with it. Like Chaney doesn't have a problem with it either. You know, like they can both exist and live happily ever after. I think. I was really tempted over at Toys in the Box to get the Storm collectibles stuff. I saw the Storm Arena Ryu and Ken there, but a Jada Vega was staring me in the face, and I chose Jada.
Okay.
So,
You've
there was that. Yeah. Although Street Fighter 6 is anybody's game. Jada is not doing it. Storm and Revoltech are the only games in town, basically. So I like this Chun-Li. I like it. It looks really good. Especially, I mean, Mr. Lee's a pro, so anything he takes a picture of, like, just draws you in. Like, man, maybe I should get this thing.
It's true.
Yeah.
He totally gets me often. And a lot of it is because he's showing you what you can actually do with it by, he's limited by the figure and what he can pull off. It's like, okay, cool. But also just, I love that we're in this era now where we're getting one, more women figures, period, because that wasn't much of a thing in the 80s and 90s. But also these now we're seeing like different body types. Like, I don't know if you've seen like a lot of the more recent like blank bodies that are like Noda's blank body of these women. Like, they're really
the ranges of body type is vast now. It's really great.
Yeah. So I think it's just a matter of time where we're going to see it applied to, like some of that stuff is, what folks refer to as the waifu stuff, the snail shell stuff, which is awesome. Really cool. Unique characters are doing, but like being able to see what that might work for like standard superheroes or other IPs that we love, like Street Fighter, which again, that's part of the game. But all this stuff too, the effects, man, that's cool.
Yeah, wildly impressive stuff. It looks great. It looks really, really good.
I don't know how much this stuff tends to be like almost pushing 100, if not more. It says release next week in Japan in the China web store.
Let's find out.
Now
you have me curious because I'm debating.
Well, it's they're beautiful figures, man. all the Revoltex stuff in Akihabara, their store was just so cool to see it all like in one case, and definitely not something that I can really. How's she going for?
She's dangerously close. She's $80 pre-shipping.
Yeah.
So, I mean, after shipping, probably like $100 if you're single shipping, obviously.
I buy expensive figures too, so
yeah,
I've bought figures like that. So it's not like I'm not saying anything about it, but man, it's really great looking.
Yeah, it looks good.
Anyway, I was impressed. I know folks were wondering how she would actually turn out, and I think she ended up really, really good. I love the face too, kind of like gloss over it, but I think everything turned out pretty nice. People, I know have issues with the cuts and stuff, but I think she's cool. Again, I was born in 76, man. You should have seen the garbage we had to play with. This is, to me, all this stuff is like amazing. No pun intended again. All right, what else? Do you do the fantasy thing? You tend to stick more in the like superheroes and anime?
So it's funny, when like Mythic Legion first started, I got really into it. And I had like a bunch of the knights, and I had like the skeleton knights, and et cetera, et cetera. And eventually I was like, God, these things are really big. Like, what am I going to do with it? And I sold them all.
Oh, how long ago was that?
I want to say it was like 2018.
Okay.
I sold everything that I'd bought up to that point. It wasn't a lot, but it was like 10 or 12 figures or whatever. Okay. And
sure.
I needed space, and like their scale really didn't go with what I was doing. But it's funny because I'm super obsessed with Berserk, and I love fantasy stuff. Like me and Kevin talk about Game of Thrones more than normal men should, so I love the fantasy stuff. So it's always been tempting. It's always been tempting to like, maybe I should just get into it again. Like Legions is so easy to get into because they restock things, and maybe not restock, but like they'll recolor and like reprint other things in like a different way. Like maybe I should just get into it. Like it happens to me all the time. I think if I saw them more often at toy shows and at toy stores, I'd be into it. I just think that it's hard because I don't see them that often, and then like when I'm ordering them online, sometimes the shipping is awful. I mean, we have BBTS, so there's that. But like I think if I saw
the way
these,
to go, man.
Yeah, I think if I saw these more commonly, like at the San Jose Toy Show, I think I'd have given in a long time ago. But they're just not as common out here.
It's true.
And I really hope you pull off that like West Coast, like or like Lower Bay Area, like.
That's what I'm trying to do, because I think you're 100% right. We don't see enough of it, and I think collectors around here, just like you, are just like, well, I don't see it that often. There's maybe the sense that there aren't a whole lot of folks out here who collect, which is, I know, not true, but get together a little bit more regularly, and we see it out here.
And you've talked about it with Wade. He'd be the perfect guy to come on to and push his Odious, or Warriors, Animals of the Kingdom, or Plunderlings, or Ricky from Plunderlings. Like there's plenty of people that can come out and get
That's a hope.
done,
We'll work on it. Trying to convince. I know Wade's been trying to figure out what his next moves are, but he'll get there. This is Grey Knight Studios doing stuff from Diablo. Again, admittedly unlicensed, but man, this figure looks amazing to me. It's Mithril. Grey Knight is, I believe, also Mithril Studios and Mithril Action Studios. I've got some of their figs, just amazing builds, and it's from a company that's like relatively new and is kind of playing in the whole unlicensed territory. It's weird to me. Back in the day, it was like unlicensed generally meant kind of crappy. And not anymore. Like some of my favorite figures are coming from folks like Grey Knight / Mithril Action. So this thing looks really cool. Like check out that little bone joint here. I've got a figure that by them.
Oh
that's
my
like
God,
that.
why is that so sick?
They've got translucent parts because he's ghostly and everything. Translucent hand.
How much is this guy?
No word yet. It's up soon. Here, Rick. 5K wants you to know pre-order opens later on. So set your clock. Set your clock to later on, and it'll be there. But it's a cool looking figure,
Alexa,
man.
Set the time for later on.
Look at the sculpt, the paint. It's a good time to be into fantasy and just kind of like be willing to check out new sources of toys, because There's a lot of them. This will be an
this
instant
is
pre-order
wildly
for me.
impressive.
Yeah, this will be an instant pre-order for me because I'm kind of dumb like that. Let's talk Legions. You're starting to talk Legions. Let me ask you, have you considered going to LegionsCon? Because that's actually where I got to meet Bradley in real life last year, which was awesome. A bunch of folks were out there.
I've been tempted. I've been really tempted. I've been really tempted to go.
You've probably heard a bunch of people talk about it, and this is that season where if Trevor's still watching on his show, Legions Lounge, starting tomorrow. He's going to start bringing on the different vendors and folks who are going to be there, and they kind of do this Road to Legions kind of show.
Yeah.
And so even if you're not going, just check out the vibe. Because man, like as far as like the toy making game and all the, what fandom can be for these toy lines is on full on display with the Legions community in general, but also LegionsCon specifically, man. It's kind of cool. I got to see, I met Jay Shot there, No Chewing, the daddies, the toy daddies, like Wade was there last
Lago,
year.
I think Lago's been there as well. So and
he
Cheney went like 2 years ago. Yeah, Cheney and Lago went 2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Yes, and I was bummed that I wasn't able to see them out there. But yeah, so I don't know. Consider it. I know it's getting out to the East Coast isn't.
It's been in consideration. It's been in consideration because it looks so impressive, and I hear people have like a great time on there. I hear like it's super fun.
Definitely, even if you're not going to spend a dime, honestly, like it's like me going to Frankenson, man. I can just I can't say that I would leave LegionsCon without spending money, but even if I was just looking at stuff, meeting people, it's like an art show, man. So, but let's talk Four Horsemen. So they just 2 weeks ago they teased this. No, 6 days ago they teased this. So last year was the first time they did the LegionsCon Armory Experience. You're familiar with Legions, you can pop them apart. You mentioned Lego earlier, similar concept. You're going in, they have a cool booth of like little stations or torso pieces, head pieces, etc. This started last year, called the Armory Experience. Last year was knights and stuff. So they had like knights parts you'd walk through and build your own figure.
Yeah, that purple knight looked awesome.
Yep.
When I seen that, I was really tempted.
This year, it's these, man. So it's kind of more like on the barbarian tip in the Colosseum. That's the reference to the Legends of the Colosseum this year. And so this was a cool post where they kind of broke down the different parts because they know, like, people want to plan, people want to see what they're getting. People are always thinking about things like, does this going to match with a head that I have or a body part that I have?
These are wildly impressive. I'm looking at some of these right now. My God.
Yeah. And you were saying like, Legions, they do tend to reuse things and put things out. This is like masterclass in terms of like repurposing parts and finding a way to bring them back to market. I thought this was really fascinating. And they built a system that allows them to do this. But see all these heads down here, like I want these heads, these iron mask heads, and they've got that cool, like, this is an accessory effect piece that comes out of the eyes. But, and then if you're into the straight up gladiator type stuff or Roman legions type thing, that's there too. But just wanted to check this out. Like, I'm thinking about like, what am I going to get when I'm there? Because, man, they're going to have a whole new wave announced on that Friday at G-Con up for pre-order for like a month. And then they're going to they've already released 2 exclusive Mythic Legions, or revealed 2 Mythic Legions exclusives. We still have to see if they're going to do, and likely they are, Cosmic Legions exclusives. They haven't revealed those yet. And then they revealed these. So it's like, you could go and spend a whole lot of money and come home with a whole lot of Legions. And then
these are so cool.
And it's also good to window shop. I'll say, like, I respect you for going to Frankenstein and not buying anything. I respect that.
I swear I tried. Nobody had anything that I was looking for.
No, you're good. So this was this past Wednesday. That's Eric and Jeremy from Four Horsemen Studios. And then Joe is kind of running this thing where they took the different parts and kind of answered people's questions, which parts match up with which things, doing like different combos. Pretty cool. Just wanted to highlight that. So if you missed it, go check it out. Cause I think Super informative, especially if you're going to LegionsCon or you have a friend who's going to go do it for you and you want to plan out exactly what parts you want, or, maybe going with a couple pieces or going with a couple people because you only want particular pieces. But yeah, man, this is clearly one of my favorite lines. I think at this point I buy the most from them, mainly because some of the other lines that I buy a lot from just haven't existed long enough to have as much stuff to enjoy or be able to put out as much. But this stuff is pretty wild, man. All these different pieces.
Yeah, wildly impressive stuff. Like, just looking at the song, man, maybe I could make this guy and this guy if I was there, and I could do this on the bottom half, and the juices start flowing looking at these pictures.
I'm trying to think about like mono eyes. There are a couple of Cyclops that are in the line. Some cool cosmics. But anyway, I think it's really cool.
One of my friends is a figure for Mythic Legions. Shout out to Greg.
Sir Ookjack.
Yeah, he works. Yeah, that's him. That's him, Greg.
Big Greg.
Shout out to him and shout out to Big Greg.
So I'm kind of curious to see what other people are thinking in terms of building. This is definitely something I'll be doing. On that note, let me quickly check in one more time. Let's see what folks are saying. Going back to the third-party Warcraft, JMac. Yep, he's familiar. He knows they do keep getting better and better. And I will say, even from the jump, those first orcs were just crazy good.
Yeah, super impressive. Those third-party orcs, they were really, really impressive.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Spaded One's pointed out that those Bandai Stormtrooper model kits are about the same price as a Black Series fig and readily available. Hopefully this kind of custom takes off. Really dig it. Yeah, folks just kind of talking about other Revoltech and everything. Hey, what's up, E? Good to see you, man. And yes, the translucent parts on that that Grey Knight Studios King Leoric from Diablo look amazing. And Rick Jones wants me to build him a barbarian. Let's talk. I don't know what all I'm going to have slots for. And, I'm going to be at the AWOC table selling. So, I mean, whatever. We make time for people to go off and shop. But I shall see. But I will keep you in mind for sure. I'll hit you up, Rick. Cool. All right. Let's see. What else? Hey, you mentioned Shenron earlier. This is a Legions based custom. It's actually based on a Cosmic Legions figures body. You got the custom head. It's by Pid Pong Siri. I just think it's gorgeous, and I want to see more of this kind of thing. The Chinese dragon in plastic form. Amazing. I showed this last week. We ran out of time, so I was like, "Oh man, I want to make sure that I show it this week." But did you ever get into like painting and stuff like that?
Very lightly. Like it's funny. I have a Figma guts that back in the day when they weren't that expensive or anything, they were readily available. That I bought a double so that I could blood splatter him.
Nice.
Because he's obviously like a swordsman and whatnot. So very lightly, like weathering and blood splatter and stuff like that. I've done stuff like that, but to this level, no. I've not gotten this deep into it. But I've always been tempted to. I've always wanted to. I do have like Citadel paints and whatnot and Tamiya paints, and
it's cool stuff, man. And that's the thing about Legions in general. Like the characters and stuff that they create are great. But then it's also the way they've kind of nurtured the fan base to be able to see this kind of stuff. You can kind of see basically what he looked like before. He's basically a green version of the same body type. And that's actually with Greg's outfit. He's got Greg's little loincloth there.
Oh,
so these are all Ookjack parts. Yeah. So you were a big Dragon Ball kid too? You did a lot of the anime thing?
Huge Dragon Ball kid. I mean, it's funny because I think I watched Dragon Ball in Spanish on Telemundo before I ever watched Dragon Ball in English here in the States. I think like a long time ago that might have been what I first consumed. And I never knew that it was Japanese or that it was anime or anything. I was just so small at the time. No, I never knew because they never bill it like that. They call it Dragon Ball Z, and I just go like, okay, that's a Mexican show, cool.
Sure.
And then Toonami happened and really started pushing Dragon Ball. Like, oh crap, this is that show, but he's an adult. Like, what's going on?
And he speaks English. Like, what?
And he speaks English. This isn't a Mexican show. Like, what's going on?
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's where I first got Dragon Ball from.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's cool, man. And Latin America is huge, actually. Dragon Ball, One Piece.
When the finale, well, not really the finale, but that season finale, although it's not continued again, when Dragon Ball Super finale happened and they had that world tournament, the entirety of Mexico shut down to watch that finale. I mean, there's videos of like the squares of Mexico City where they just have gigantic screens watching the fight with him. And
so cool, man.
It was a huge thing. Yeah, in Latin America,
cool.
it's huge. And also in Latin America, God, what's their name in America?
What's that?
God, I don't know their name, but the what's it called? The Zodiac anime. What's it called? Kevin's really
oh gosh, the all gold.
Saint Seiya.
Saint Seiya. Yeah.
Yeah. In Mexico, it's
also huge.
Caballeros del Zodiaco. Those are really big in Mexico and in South America. In America, it never caught on. Saint Seiya was never big here. I don't, for whatever reason, but everywhere else it's huge.
Yeah, and JoJo's was big in Latin America too. But yeah,
JoJo's is huge. Yeah.
I'm always intrigued by that. And I love to, it's 2025. My students, like, they may not buy action figures, but they're like, because of the internet, they're accessing all sorts of stuff, all sorts of like nerd pockets of culture. And I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love it. Real quick before we move on.
Or,
high school.
Okay.
High school.
That makes a lot of sense.
So shout out again. Go check out this. So what am I saying? Tomorrow, Trevor's channel. He's going to be starting this whole like road to LegionsCon. It's going to be like a series of shows leading up to LegionsCon, highlighting all the different vendors and people who will be there. So this week it's going to be Jesse, Brutal Realm, and Josh Brown Customs. Josh Brown of Josh Brown Customs. Josh has got some cool stuff to bring to LegionsCon. I think some really smart sort of exclusives for the con, building off of exclusive figures that'll be available there. He's collaborating. He shared some of it's collaborating with Dave Igo. So I don't know. It's cool stuff. So check that out tomorrow night in 23 hours. Tomorrow night, 5 p.m.
There we go.
Rick. 5 p.m.
Setting the alarm so I don't forget.
Yeah. See, you got it. Saint Seiya, you. Okay, so let's see what else. We've got one last thing, and then we'll go. So I know I showed some AI earlier, and so I know folks have feelings about it, rightfully so. And Trevor, when are we gonna have that AI conversation? But a thing that's really cool is the human side of things. Here you got Jason Scarecrow art. We'll end with this. It's not it's a posed action figure, not an articulated figure, but Jason Scarecrow art clearly like is into xenomorphs, originally as designed by H.R. Giger and featured in the Alien and Aliens movies. But he kind of did his own take on it. You can kind of see the tech and everything. And I just love that we're in a world where someone can do this project, this passion project, and build this thing, sculpt the thing. People can then print it, and you can kind of see the resin version. And then someone like this guy can paint it up and make it look amazing. Making me want like this figure. Like, where's this version of the posable action figure? It's killer, man. I just kind of wanted to end it.
That's
here.
Amazing.
Definitely felt a little guilty of showing some AI, and I love this. His title for this is AI Can't Replace Real. So this is Chen Yu showing off his paint skills in collaboration with Jason Scarecrow art. And then you can kind of see the base there and everything, man. It's gorgeous.
God, people are so talented. It's unreal.
Yep. And if you ever do make it to LegionsCon, Rick, you can see them all there, man. The folks just showing off their customs and their painted heads. And I'll just keep putting that in your ear. I know it's not easy.
Yeah, I'm so tempted. All I hear is good things. People say like, oh, the con is connected to the hotel everybody stays at. So like we all just hang out in the lobby all night and like hang out. And I'm like, man, that sounds like so cool.
Yeah. I mean, those guys, you know, they go long and late and then the con starts at like 9, sometimes I think 8 last year, some weird start time. But I don't know, based on your habits, what I'm hearing from you, you may not want to stay up as late as some of those guys, but it's definitely fun, man. But this kind of stuff,
because you know they wanted to go to a bar, like, hey, let's hit the bars. Like, I'm not doing this. It's midnight. Get out of here.
Yeah.
You know, telling me all I got to do is take an elevator to go up to the room. I'm in for that. I
love it, man.
That's easy, baby. I'm down for that.
Anyway, this thing is cool. I love looking at great art. Absolutely. I'm with you, man. That is fire. Are you watching the whole like sort of alien / predator resurgence that's happening right now? You watching any of that stuff? Prey.
I'm not watching
Predator?
Alien Earth, but I've watched Prey. Prey was incredible.
Yeah.
I haven't watched Alien Earth, but I hear nothing but good things about Alien Earth.
My wife and I are hooked. Like we are so in, man. It's pretty brilliant, I think. And I know other folks aren't too happy with kind of where they went with it, but man, you could tell like Holly studied like the cinematography of the first one, the aesthetic, and tried to kind of bring it to this new place. But anyway, it
seems super fun. Yeah, it seems good. For all the little I've seen, like I've seen screen caps and like people like, oh, they did this, and I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty good.
All right, man. Rick, thank you so much for hanging out. And we really, really don't live that far from each other. So
no, we're Rick, real close. Yeah.
Champion of the Cornhole 2025 ToyMigos meetup. We got to meet up, man. We got to connect. Seriously, if you're ever like, hey, I'm thinking I'm going to go out to Hayward again or whatever, hit me up.
Yeah, next time me and Vince go to Juan's and we go to Akiba, we'll hit you up. Yeah, I started doing the Frank and Sons diet right there. But yeah, next time we go to CFA, which we do really regularly. I mean, there was a streak where we went to CFA and Akiba like for like 2 to 3 weeks straight, because we went like twice with Vince, Figs, and like a couple other friends, and then like the weekend after we told my brother-in-law about it, and he was like, oh, I want to go do that, and we took him to go there, and you know.
Dude, I'm in. Not even looking for stuff, right? Just kind of going and seeing.
Just hanging out, seeing what's there, you know.
Yeah, dangerous, but fun. Right on, man. Hey, again, I appreciate you hanging out today. I hope we get to hang out a lot more often in real life, online, whatever. Congratulations on your win and your victory tour. Is this the last stop on the victory tour? You're gonna milk it another week? What are you thinking?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe if I go to Kevin's or something, or I go on Between Two Sentinels, you know, just start to do a victory lap. It sucked because I could have went on Between Two Sentinels, but I was doing something during their stream, and it was funny because during the stream they were like, if anybody wants to come on, hit us up, DM us, and we'll send you a link. Right. And I watched the replay, and I was like, damn, like I should have gone on there. Could have been another show. I did a victory lap on, like, I'm the champ, you know.
Or maybe I know that there's all sorts of shows on Wednesdays, and one of them is the Fallen Fett Chronicles. Maybe the team can reunite.
That's another one. I usually do the Fallen Fett. He has a wrestling like sub series that he does with me, Chamba, and Machu, and Art with Toys and whatnot, and Wrestling Hound. And I didn't watch the pay-per-view, so I didn't go. They're like, come on. I was like, I've not watched I've not watched it, so like if I go, I'm not going to know any of what these guys are talking about. I'm just going to sit there like, wow, that sounds awesome, and that's all I could contribute. So I didn't make it to that one, but yeah, maybe I should go to Fallen Fett. You know, past meets the present. You know,
the
future meets the past.
As far as like non-hypotheticals, where will we see you again? You guys, are you doing ACBA again this Friday? Or?
Yeah, 100%. You'll see me on ACBA, whether we do it Friday or Saturday. Poncho's work schedule is really rough right now.
Okay.
If we have enough of us, we do go on Friday. But like, if it's Friday and it's just me and Boog, we just wait it out until the next day that Poncho's available. But watch it. We always put a countdown early. So you'll see, like if we're gonna go live that day or the day after, the countdown will be up. The the live countdown or whatever. So
yeah, tell folks where they
check us
should follow you. Also, like your Instagram. What's the best place to?
Yeah, Instagram Rickdom2345. I'm gonna hopefully push myself to do more figure photography to end out the year. And yeah, like I said, I bought so much stuff where I'm like, I should do this and I should do that. And my friends are always on my case, pushing me to do that. So hopefully I will be a little disciplined to end the year off and do a little more figure photography, especially because we have the annual Articulated Comic Book Art event that we do on Instagram and on Facebook called October, where we have a prompt, kind of like Inktober. That's where it spawned from, where we have a prompt, and every single day there's a new themed picture you can do. You don't have to do all days, but you can, and it's strongly encouraged. Last year, I literally did one day, so take that how you will. So you could just do one day. If you see the prompt and you're like, oh, there's only one day here I feel good about, do it. Poncho said that the list should be out middle of September.
Okay.
So yeah, it's going to be fun, and probably I think that's where I'm going to push myself. Yeah, probably another week. I think that's where I'm going to push myself to dip myself my toes back into figure photography and doing it more often. And hopefully, I'll be disciplined enough to keep it going, and I'll just lazy out like, I'll do it.
It's not lazing out. I'm sure you're busy, like training for cornhole, and there's all sorts.
Yeah, I mean, there's only a few hundred days left until I have to defend this, and I don't want to be caught sleeping and lose it all next year.
A few hundred. I love that. You got 23 days till October. Look out next week for the photo list. Let's see if we can, encourage folks to do it, including Rick. It sounds like he would appreciate a little bit of friendly, support and encouragement to get it done. So
yeah, it's a fun time. A lot of the prompts are like really fun, or sometimes they're ridiculous. Like, it's a good time. It's a good time, I think. Right
on. Okay, folks. Well, thank you very much for hanging out. Everybody's watching live, everybody on the replay. If you are doing all that, do all the YouTube things. It helps. You know what those things are.
Yeah, please.
Rickdom, appreciate you, man, and great to hang out. And I can't wait till we go look at toys in real life.
Yes, please. Yeah, we'll hit you up next time we do the little CFA loop.
Circuit.
Cool. Yeah,
maybe I'll take you to the pot of gold. It's a little bit of a trek from there, but we'll see.
Yeah,
all right, guys.
Too bad. Dublin, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. See, yeah, you know how we drive in the Bay. All right, folks. So, I guess collectively, this is a Bay Area show. Thank you for hanging out with us here, West Coast.
Yeah, anytime, man.
All righty. I'm going to play some music and we'll, chat and leave and all that kind of thing. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody. Beautiful. Appreciate you. Have a great weekend. I don't know if you can hear me. Look at that.
Yeah.
Woo. Well done. Love it. Let's get rid of our faces. Let's go with this. Bye, everybody. Have a good week. Be safe. Don't do anything dumb. And if you do, don't get caught. Bye-bye.